Do, do, do. Mm-hmm. Hey, kia ora, Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1653. It is Finish It Friday. Yay! We've got another work week that is done. Woo! So Finish It Fridays, that's something I didn't know about Finish It Fridays until I moved from Virginia to California. And I met up with a group of people there who would get together on Friday evenings at a bar, at a restaurant, and or a bar that served food, because that's basically what went for, was the food. So we would be at these bars or restaurants, and we would have would take over a corner of the bar area, and would just sit there and just relax, because we had finished another work week. We talked about some of the challenges we faced each week. We talked about some of the projects we got completed that week, but Finish It Friday was clearing the table and making sure that everything was, or clearing the desk and making sure everything was ready to go for Monday. And then we had 2 days for the weekend to enjoy ourselves and just kick back and relax. And the idea of Finish It Friday is to have everything done by the end of finish everything off at the end of the week. So when you get to Friday afternoon at whatever time, now Friday for some people may be another day of the week, because some people work Fridays and the weekend and might have Monday, Tuesday off, for example. So whatever the end of the week is for you, we're talking about that tonight, the Finish It Fridays. And it's always good to have a way to measure how you're progressing through projects and things. It could be that you've decided this, every Monday you sit down, write out your goals for the week. Do you get them finished or not? Oh, hello, you. You decided to come join us. Good girl. We just had the most amazing, hour. We got back from our walk I'm totally going off on a different tangent here. Totally got back from our walk like an hour, over an hour ago. And I had my foot, the area of on the underside of my foot was playing up. It was some sort of pain in there, and I still can't figure out what was causing the pain. And so I thought, well, let me go down the bedroom, because I got a really good light down there, and it's easier for me to sit on the bed and angle my foot for the light. And so I went and did that. There's a red mark there. I can't figure out why it's sore or anything else. Maybe I stood on something. I don't know. But then also, I'm just going to lay here on my stomach and pretend I'm getting a massage. And just imagine, just meditate, imagine that I'm getting a massage. Well, if he gets up on her bed's on top of my bed, and she's got one half of the bed, I have the other half. And so I'm just laying there on my stomach, and she gets onto her side of the bed, decides it's time to start playing. And she has this cute little teddy bear that's got a little hot red heart that it's holding that says something like unbearable or something like that on it. And she decided that, and that thing always sits on the corner of her bed. And she occasionally, and so today was a day that she brought it out to play with it. And so we laid there and played with that. And then she was laying there like about this far away from me with her nose and just sort of like looking at me, and I'm just like looking at her. And we just had the most magical hour there, just laying there. But she'd play, I'll just lay there. She'd get back up on the bed, and finally just kind of like dozed for a little bit. And I have a reminder on my phone that goes off every 30 minutes before an appointment. And of course, it went off to say that I have my live coming up. And I was just like, I really don't want to get up. It was just so nice just laying there and kind of meditating and just feeling like I was getting that good shoulder rub, and my neck was getting massaged. And, that was my Finish It Friday reward, was that I was just laying there in this meditative state, just imagining that it's the end of the work week and I'm getting a full body massage. And it was just so nice. And I had my feet propped up on my body pillow at the head of the bed, because my head's at the foot of the bed. My feet are at the head of the bed, so they're propped up on my pillow there. And so it takes that pressure off the lower back. And it was just so nice to lay there and just imagine getting that massage. It was an amazing hour of that, with Zeffie playing in the meantime, and stopping to get pets and that, and waiting for me to toss the bear for her. And so that was one of my Finish It Friday rewards today, as I got to do that. And I don't get to do that very often. I had over an hour from when we got back from our walk, and it's like, that doesn't happen often. So that was one of my Friday rewards. It was unexpected, completely unplanned, and my phone was laying on the bedside table, and I looked, and I kind of came to at one point, and I looked at Zeffie. This is the funniest. She had her nose there, and the teddy bear is in a usually is in a sitting position, right? And I'm just trying to. Oh, you work. Hang on. This vase here I made when I was 4. If you haven't seen my vase, it's just an old mason jar. This was made when I was 4 years old. I was at kindergarten, and we had to pick a color. I actually chose red, but it's come out this orangey pink color. And then we got to stick shells in. You can see some of the shells have broken off over time. But this was made when I was 4. So this thing, I'm 57 now. So this is 53 years old, this thing. And this little bear is one that Brad gave me one Valentine's. But see how this dog is sitting? She had it sitting like this, and her nose was right here up its butt. It was the funniest. I'm actually going to post the picture later on TikTok. And she's laying there with her nose underneath the butt of the teddy bear. It was hilarious. And so I managed to scooch around a little bit without disturbing her and get my phone and take a picture of it. So I'll post that later on. But, Finish It Friday is all about just letting go of all the stresses from the week, making sure that when you leave the office on Friday, when you've done for the day, that everything is clear, your project list is done. You may have projects that are ongoing, but you've set yourself little tasks along the way for the project, and that those tasks that you have assigned yourself for the week have been done. And I love it when I can do that, because it means that I've got a free weekend and I don't have to play catch up, and I get to do some fun things. So tonight we're going to make burgers and just sit down and have a nice quiet evening. We may watch a movie, we may not. I may sit and read, I may not. I may sit on the iPad and play one of my game things, or I may not. I don't know. We haven't decided what we're going to do for Friday evening. Last night we watched, what was that movie we watched last night, Zeffie? That was really good. It was on BBC America. No, BritBox. It was on BritBox. The Scapegoat. That was really cool movie. So the Scapegoat was about this guy. They both had the same name, John. There was John Spence and John. Can't remember the other guy's name. But the John, can't remember the other guy's name, was a teacher at a school who had been let go. And so he decides he's going to go and walk around England on a foot journey. This is in like it was 1952, because it was the country was getting ready for Queen Elizabeth's coronation. So it was 1952, and so he was going to go walking. So he gets down to the train station to go and get on the train, and he goes to this pub to have a break, and he goes in there, and the innkeeper hands him the key. Oh, here's the keys for your room. And he's sort of like, what are you talking about? Well, he ends up meeting this guy there who looks exactly like him. And his name was John Spence. They both had the same first name, just different last names. And John Spence was this guy who was married, with a family, had mistresses, and was not a very nice person. Let's put it that way. He comes from a very well-to-do family. They were in something to do with glass factory and stuff. And so when he meets the John, whose last name I can't remember, when he meets him, he turns around and goes, at one point, the guy brings the jackets, because they end up talking for the evening and drinking the evening away type of thing. And at one point, they were at a restaurant, and the guy brings out the coats. And so John Spence takes the other guy's coat and puts that on. This guy goes, hang on, it's my coat. He says, oh, no. He says, this one look better on you. Oh, look, that's a perfect fit, and da-da-da-da-da. And when they wake up the next morning, when John, whose last name I can't remember, when he wakes up the next morning, the other guy's gone. And he's taken his bag, he's taken all of his ID, he's taken his passports, everything. And all this guy is left with is all of John Spence's stuff. And then there's a knock at the door, and it's George, who is John Spence's driver. And so he mistakes this guy here for John Spence, and so makes him his hangover cocktail thing, and gets him to have some breakfast, takes him down and puts him into the car and takes him home. And so this guy, whose name I can't remember, last name I can't remember. So John 1 is the teacher, John 2 is John Spence. And so John 1 turns around and starts having to learn to live this other John Spence life. And he finds out what a complete, not nice person he was, and some of the things he got up to. So he starts changing those things and thinks, well, if I'm going to live the life of this guy, I'm going to make it better for everybody. And so, so when the original John Spence comes back, it's very interesting what happens. So it was a good movie. It's called The Scapegoat. It was really cool. It was just it was under 2 hours. It's like an hour and 45, somewhere around there. But it was a really cool movie. And we haven't watched the movie for a while. So that was cool. We watched Red the week before. You ever seen Red? That's awesome. It's got Bruce Willis is in it. Helen Mirren. Oh my gosh. She is amazing in Red. She is awesome. I want to be her when I grow up. But yes, we watched that the week before. But so watching that one last night was really cool. And so what are we going to do this evening? I have no idea. Hey, safe girl. Did you go eat some dinner? Yeah. Okay. I heard her munching. Finish Friday is allowing yourself to get that stuff off your desk of the week and celebrating the fact that you got through another week. Your desk is clear of stuff you have to do before, and when you come in on Monday morning, that's when you make up your list of what tasks do I want to finish this week, and laying out your plan for the week so that come Friday, by the time you're finished for the day, and you've got wiggle room throughout the week for anything unexpected that comes up. But being able to finish the end of the week and go, yes, it's done. And I am so proud of myself. I got my newsletter out today. My newsletter goes out every Friday. And I got my newsletter out early this week. I got it out today, but I got it out earlier than I normally do. I think it was 3 p.m. It's around 3 or 3:30 when I hit the send button to send out the newsletter today. So I was really proud of myself getting myself ahead of time on that one, because usually I get it out either just before I go live or just after I have been live. So to get it out at a whole 3 hours early, 2.5 to 3 hours early was awesome. I was like, yes. So that entitled me to have my meditative massage, even though nobody was actually working on me. It was just having that meditation of remembering what it's like to get a full body massage and just imagining that I was having it, and I could feel the muscles relaxing. I was drifting in and out as Zeffie decides to wah, wah, with her squeaky toy. And then she just settled down in the end and she just snoozed next to me. And then one point I woke up and her nose is like this far away from me. And I said okay, that's fine. And I'll go. And every time I tried to hold her, she's so funny. She doesn't like having her paws touched. Sometimes she will let me put my hand underneath her paw and just rest her paw on top of my hand. And she'll leave it there for a while. And other times, as soon as I do that, she said yeah, no. And if I go this way to cover her paw like this, most of the time, immediately she's straight away pulls away. But today she let me hold it for at least 10 seconds before she pulled it away. So that's progress. But I can't believe next month she'll be 5 years old. And I've had her since November the 16th, 2019 is when I adopted her. So she's a rescue and she's such a sweetheart. We were out walking tonight and you could hear kids playing in the playground that's near us. And she just wanted to go over, and whenever she hears kids, we go out walking, she'll hear a kid and she stops and she zeroes in straight away. Where is the kid? Where's the kid? Where is it? And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. And she's been like that the entire time that I have had her. Whenever we're out walking anywhere and she hears kids, she stops and she swivels her head and zeroes in exactly where that sound is coming from and wants to go and see what that kid is doing. And tonight as we're walking home, there were 4 kids. There's mum and dad and their 4 kids. One was in the pushchair, and the other 3 were on bikes. And she was like, I want to go over there. I want to go meet them. What are they doing? And she's following them with just standing there and just following these kids, watching them the whole way till they disappeared and wanting to go join them. She's very protective of kids. And when I have her at the dog sitter has a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old. I think that's the right ages. Might be a 10-year-old. But she knows exactly where everybody is in the house. The dog sitter said it's really funny because she will find a spot to lay down where she can see everybody or know where everybody is. And if the kids are in the playroom, she's in the playroom there up by the window so she can keep an eye, because the playroom looks out over the front of the house. So she keeps an eye on that path coming up to the house. And she also keeps an eye on the kids, and she'll be in the playroom with them. But if the kids are split up, like some are in the playroom, some are in the family room area, then she lays so that she can see down to the playroom and you can see the family room, so she knows where everybody is, and she'll get up every now and again and go like on patrol and wander around to see where everybody is and make sure everybody's okay. And I'm just like, that's my girl, because she knows where I am at all times. And even if she's asleep and I get up and like walk out of the room to like go to the bathroom or something, or go in the kitchen to get something, she'll eventually show up and like, what are you doing? You left me in the office. What are you doing? But yeah, so she knows where I am at all times. But if she hears kids, she wants to go and investigate them. She wants to check them out, make sure they're okay. So she's a little protector, that one. So for more about Finish It Friday. So what have you been doing today to celebrate Finish It Friday? Did you get all your projects done this week? This weekend, I have a mastermind group tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. It's our monthly mastermind training. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then Sunday, I get to do whatever I want, because Sunday is my day off. And I try and stay off social media, off the computer as much as the only time I come on is to do my lives on Sunday. So Sunday we are unplugging, and yeah, I'm not sure what else we're going to do on Sunday, but maybe I'll actually do grocery shopping on Sunday. It'll be a good day to do grocery shopping, because I've heard that Super Bowl starts at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time, which is where I am. So if I go grocery shopping at that time, there'll be nobody in the supermarket, because everybody will be at home watching Super Bowl. I like going to markets when they're not crowded. So maybe I'll go do shopping on Sunday afternoon when Super Bowl's on. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I don't even know who's playing. I haven't watched. I think the last time I watched Super Bowl was January of 2018, and that was in honor of Brad, because he loved his. I was an NFL widow. We knew, and college football widow, because as soon as football season started, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sundays were all managed around the football schedule, whether it was college football or NFL football. It didn't matter. If we were going out, he was looking up when does his teams play, when are those teams playing, or the games he wants to watch playing. And then we worked out when we were going out to do things around the football schedule. And so he actually didn't see any of the, he didn't even watch any TV while he was in hospital. He was there for 87 days. And I think I was there. I think I can tell there was twice that he had the TV on in the room. And I had it on ESPN so he could catch up on all the football news and that sort of thing. And he never watched any games that were on that entire season up until when he passed. And so when it came to January, I actually sat down and watched Super Bowl that day. I didn't care who was playing. All I cared about that it was a good game and that it was close, and there's going to be lots of excitement in it, because I still don't I understand that people want to put commercials in these things, and some of the commercials in Super Bowl used to be really good, and now not so much. They're not, yeah. Ones I saw in 2018, I was like, really? Yeah, not interested in the commercials anymore. But all I wanted was a good game that was a lot of fun to watch. And I didn't care who was playing. I didn't care who won. I was just watching it in honor of Brad, and that's the last time I watched a Super Bowl game was January of 2018. So it's been 6 years, 6 Super Bowls, and I still haven't seen. And I don't even watch American football anymore. That was Brad's domain. I would sit next to him and do other things like read or knit and crochet and stuff. And I actually watched him watch a recorded game one time, and he would fast forward through all the commercials, all of the standing around chattering thing. And he would pause when it came to the ball. He'd watch the play, and then he would fast forward again. We watched that game. I think it took us 30 minutes to watch that game. And I'm like, this is a game that has, was it 4 15-minute periods? So that's an hour, and it takes 3 hours, and that's an hour. And then you've got all the standing around and the switching of the defense and the offense and the special teams and, all this standing around stuff. And I'm like, it boils down to like 30 minutes of actual playtime, and it takes 3 hours. And I'm like, why? And Brad's like, oh, it's for the commercials. I said, give me a rugby game any day. It's 90 minutes with a 10-minute, 90 minutes, 30, was it 40? Yeah, it's 90 minutes, 40 minutes each way and a 10-minute halftime. You're done. And it's continual action. There's no standing around. There's no switching out the team. You have substitutes where you substitute one player for another. That takes a few seconds. But the game is constantly moving. Rugby union, and rugby league. I will watch those all day. It's 80 minutes. It's 40 minutes playtime, 10-minute halftime, then 40 minutes of play. No commercials during the playtime. There might be commercials during the halftime, but typically they don't have any commercials during the playtime because you can't time for the commercials unless you stop the game, and that doesn't happen. And sometimes they go over 90 minutes because you go into injury time. So it was I'm like, give me a rugby game any day to watch. But, everybody, each to their own. Everybody has their favorite sports that they absolutely love and would love to sit and watch. And I'm in total agreement that you can do whatever you like. Those are my preferences. I'm not forcing them on anybody. But I will watch rugby and rugby league all day long. I will watch cricket, and people find cricket very boring. And I said, well, it depends which type you're watching. You've got the 5-day test match. You've got the 3-day test match. You've got the 1-day internationals. You've got the what's the other one that they call it now? It's where it's 20 overs each side. To me, I enjoy cricket. I used to play cricket when I was in high school. I was on the high school cricket team and had a blast. I was one of the bowlers, and that was a really cool game to watch and play. I had fun doing that. And people go, oh, but it's so long and so boring and da-da-da. And I go, yeah, I understand how some people can find it that way, and I totally get that. And but for me, I enjoyed the game. There's other games that are out there that I don't enjoy watching, but people do, and it's each to their own. I'm not changing anybody's mind by saying what I prefer. I don't, if you prefer those games, that's fine. That's fine. So anyway, Finish It Friday. We got back to Finish It Friday. We got lots of squirrels going on here today. It's just one of those days where I'm just sort of like I've just been going just in the flow and going with the flow today. It's been awesome. So we've got our newsletter out today early. So now I really do have free time this evening. I got another project that had been held up and finally got that done as well. So I'm feeling pretty good because my desk is clear. It's all done. Everything's been put away and trash has been moved off my desk. My desk gets a little messy by Friday. So Friday is when I finish work, it's clean up the desk, walk the dog, come back, do my live, and then I'm done for the day. So I am now done for the day. I am out of here. I want to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody for tuning in, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok watching us live. I truly appreciate you guys just taking a few minutes each day to tune in and watch us. I really appreciate it. And if you're watching the recording, thank you for stopping by and watching the recording of this, which you can find on YouTube if you want to go back and see anything of it again. So that's it for today. Have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hei konera.